Oh, I forgot my phone. I'll be right back. We're going live, by the way. This week in car audio. Tune in. What we talking about, bass? I'm talking about chips. Talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in.
How was your show yesterday?
It was good.
This week in car audio.
It wasn't a big crowd, but it was,
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by Mr. Jeffrey Fernandez. What's good, Jeffrey?
Hey, what's going on? I'm just sharing here.
Me too. I'm screwing up. Write a message. I left my phone downstairs, so I had to run downstairs and get it when we were already going. That's why I'm out of breath.
Uh-oh.
All right, let me grab some so I can see if somebody... Oop, we heard background noise. Let me see if that way we can see if anybody's watching us. Review. Anyway, so Jeffrey says test. I can see it.
Nice.
Where is the post? There it is. See if that way we can see if anybody's watching us. Wow. Echo, baby. Where is
Echo?
That way we can. There we go. I see Jeffrey. I see Jeffrey. And I see.
Oh no!
Did you?
I know what that's from. I know what that's from. So, but I don't want to. I don't want to age myself. So I'm.
Come on, you know it
I'm
was
gonna,
Romper Room, and
I'm gonna defer. But yeah, you're right.
Did you send your name into Romper Room?
No, I was probably too young to even know how to do that. But yeah.
I remember we sent our name into. I sent my name into Romper Room.
Oh wow!
Back
did he get called?
No, I don't believe they did ever called my name. Justin Stolman popping in here. Let's see. We got a couple people watching now. All right, Jeffrey, why don't you tell us about your show this weekend to get us kicked off here?
Okay. It was yesterday in Corona, California. It was an awesome venue. Weather was perfect. Not too warm, not too cold. So I met up with Sergio, the owner of it's a tuning shop. I guess they tune vehicles, performance vehicles or something like that. I wasn't too familiar. Oh, okay. Yeah, of course you would be, right? But so I met up with him in the morning. And there's actually a parking lot right next door to his shop that, he planned to have, the competitors park at. I thought I was going to be in there, but he's like, no, I want you in front. We're in front of the shop. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But the competitors had to exit that parking lot, get onto the street, and then pull into the driveway, which was a little different, but we made it work. It wasn't that big of a crowd this time. I think it was a 1X. We did certificates, and we're like, a lot of people were kind of like testing out to see if the event was going to get shut down, like if the cops were going to come. So I think a lot of people were being shy. And then no, believe it or not, before going into the show, Sergio tells me, oh yeah, there's train tracks right across from us. And there's like houses probably 1 or 2 blocks away. If they could withstand, the sound of the train, then, the bass is going to be nothing, and, nobody's going to complain. And that's exactly what happened. And when the train came by, it was so loud. I was like, he told me it was loud, but I thought it was like a Metro link just zooming by. It was like an old school train. And, I was like,
clanky,
oh, wow.
clanky.
Yeah, I was like, this, okay, this is a cool spot. And a lot of people like the venue. There were some talks of, people wanting to upgrade, hopefully the next event. Sergio was like really happy about it. He got to run his vehicle, and redeem himself from the last show where he got spanked by like these newbies. So that's really the reason why he wanted to have the show. He was like, man, I got spanked. How much is it to have a show at my shop? And I was like, hey, let's do it, and we got it going.
So the question is, did he redeem himself?
Yes, those other guys didn't show up. So,
Okay.
but he put up a score that he wanted.
Okay.
So he was like totally happy with that. And, it's just that the possibilities are endless right now with that venue. So we're just getting, things going. So hopefully we'll get some new show or some more shows on the calendar soon.
Awesome. Justin Stolman says, "Come on, Jeffrey. We all know you're tuning Honda Civics in your spare time."
The Fast and the Furious tuning, no.
Yeah. Tyler Archer popping in says, "Sorry, I was with Ray." Joel says, "Hello, guys." What's up, Joel? So Joel, I think he was judging an event this weekend. There was one in Salinas.
Was he judging it?
I don't know, but I think when I pulled up online today, he posted like a couple of shows he's got scheduled. So, like I said, anybody can do 1X shows. I think he scheduled like 4 events this year. He's really stepping up, right?
Yeah. I hope he doesn't spread himself too thin, though. I know he's like really enthusiastic about getting shows on the calendar, and I saw it was like one every weekend in June, and I'm like, whoa, this guy's like all in.
Do I sound echoey to you, Jeffrey?
You sound not really echoey, but sound like, yeah.
Okay, that's weird because that's what Manny's saying too, and I mean I'm on the same system I always have. Let me check my cables. Any better or not? Joel says June 7th through September 13th straight.
Wow.
There we go.
Easy.
He says I sound a little distant. Should I up my mic volume then?
Probably.
There we go. Let's see. I upped it on their end. Anyway,
sounds better.
One thing I just wanted to pull. Yes, a little bit better, Manny said. So from June 7th to September 13th, all weekends have scheduled DbDrag shows. There you go. That's what Joel says. There you go. Hey, that's the kind of stuff I used to do.
Man, yeah. That stuff's rubbing off on Joel here.
So, real quick before we get too far, Gary Killian, friend of the show. Also, Dan Current, friend of the show. I mean, he was on here when it was me and Lucky. So many moons ago, I talked to Dan a bunch. Actually was hooking him up with a battery manufacturer. We were trying to develop another car audio battery, but this particular manufacturer works more towards the automobile market. So he was doing solid state, and so we were trying to incorporate that into car audio, but it wasn't something that manufacturer was willing to explore more. But that Dan and I and that battery guy were really working towards creating a new design for car audio batteries, solid state. He was on here with you and I, Kevin Zuri or whatever, Bio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I think I recall.
Yeah. So anyway, he was on here. But anyway, so for you guys that don't know, Dan Current passed away this weekend. I'm not sure what day that was. I got a call from Gary. Gary and I talked about it a little bit. So
him and Gary were really close.
Really, really close. It really hurt Gary a lot. But he had wife and kids, and just wanted to say send out our condolences to the family of Dan Current.
Yeah, I think I woke up on Sunday right before my show.
Okay.
I got on Facebook and just a bunch of posts about Dan.
Okay.
And I wanted to make it a point at my event to hold like a moment of silence, because I've met the guy few years back
at the Sacramento World Finals.
It was actually no, it was I want to say like 2021. Yeah, this was when I was in Texas, and I was at Crossfire, and Roger's girlfriend set up this surprise party for Roger, and she invited like everybody that Roger knew.
Any Team Crossfire member?
And Dan Kern was a Crossfire guy, so he was there. And you know, Leslie, Roger's girlfriend, was telling me, oh, when Dan gets here, you know, let him know the deal. And that's when I met him that first time. But when I was at Crossfire working, he would call wanting to talk to Roger, knowing that you never get a hold of Roger just by calling the office phone. You got to get him through like Messenger or something. And he would mess around, and he would say, hey, is Roger there? I need to talk to him about his vehicle's warranty or something like that expiry. And that was the kind of guy he was. We would talk, you know, but I saw him at like what's the Showdown in Vegas. You know, so I just wanted to let everybody know. I know he was friends with a lot of the SoCal Basshead guys too. So you know, I just had a moment of silence and just kind of shared some stories about him and stuff like that. So yep, definitely rest in peace, Dan Kern.
Yep. All right. So now we got that part out of the way. You know, at the same token, I believe Sunday was the anniversary of Nyman's passing too. So, you know, rough weekend for the Basshead community as a whole. But anyway, we have to go on. So you had a show this weekend. Good turnout. Good people just hanging out, learning stuff. Do you think it was a good test run so that you'll have a bigger turnout with more people at the next one?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And how far from your house is that one?
It's probably about 30 minutes away.
Oh, shucks. Speaking of,
it's really close, and we you know, driving up there, there was like a couple of like landmarks that we passed, and it was like, oh, it's over here. Oh, you know, I went to that Del Taco like years ago, I remember.
Oh, that's hilarious. What about Bloomington? What's Bloomington got coming up?
I think they're working on some stuff with the lease or the I guess the management. So yeah.
Okay.
So we're kind of, you know, just waiting right now. So hopefully pretty soon.
Okay. And speaking of doing shows and traveling a little bit, we got Mr. Warren Jackman. He's back on, except we can see him this time. Last time he was a little pixelated. He had a really crappy internet last time he was on here. How's it going, Warren?
Not too bad. How about you?
Oh, we're doing good. Yeah. Justin says it's been years since Doug did a show 30 minutes from his house. Think Mellows or Autorama is the closest. Yeah, pretty much. Mellows an hour and 10 minutes, hour 15.
How about 9 hours away?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure you have. That's right. Yeah, you've been to shows in what, like Arizona?
I've done Arizona, which was
driven.
13. Yep, I drove to Arizona, did a show. That was 13
I competed at
away.
that show.
Oh, you drove down. That's right.
Yeah, that was the.
Which one did you do? Did you do the one at Scott Owens' place, or?
Oh yeah, I did that one too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But the first one I did was the Sirius XM series shows where we got rained on.
It was awesome.
It was like a flash flood.
Yes, it was my introduction to a tsunami, or what do they call those things?
Tsunami.
No. It's like a tsunami.
Yeah.
It was called a. What do they call that? It all of a sudden just rained, and it rained like there was 3/4 of an inch of rain on the ground within seconds, and then 2 minutes later it was gone. It just flooded out, but in seconds it just came down so bad. I forgot what they call those things.
Yeah, what is that?
Dang it!
Flash
They're
flood?
Justin would
no,
know.
it's not a flash
He's,
flood. It's not a typhoon.
Justin's a weather guy.
Yeah, you're a weather guy. What do they call
He would
those
know.
things in Arizona? They are flash floods, but they have a name. Monsoon?
Monsoon?
I think is it? Oh, he says monsoon. I think that's what that might be.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
monsoon season. That's right. Yeah, we were in there monsoon. I pulled the tent down over all my equipment.
Damn.
I guess down low as I could, and then the water was starting to come up. I was just like, oh crap! And then we waited 5-10 minutes, and good to go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Raised everything back up. Kept going. But speaking of doing shows, right here we got Warren Jackman. He did 3 of the 4 shows this weekend. How was that this weekend for you, Warren? And which ones did you do?
So it was actually really good. I did Friday night show, and I actually just spectated Saturday show,
Okay.
and then I helped out on Sunday show.
Okay. And so that was a 1X, 3X?
3X, yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So were you working to get your certification? Is that why you helped out with the 3X, or just helped out because you were there?
A little of both.
Okay. All right.
I like to show what I know and stuff like that, and I like to learn all the time. So
Ray's a good guy to learn under too.
Oh yeah, definitely a guy that you want to pick his brain about. How he conducts his shows and what he's thinking about. Other competitors and how he judges. Definitely.
yeah, no, definitely. I told him a few times this weekend that he's a great mentor, great person to just watch and be taught by. He taught me so much in the last few years, but I've been competing at his shows for almost 10 years now, so I've got to see how he's run his shows and how he's progressed and stuff like that too. So I got a lot of tips and tricks from him throughout the years before I even started hosting my own shows.
Okay. Joel says, Warren, give me the heads up when your next event is. He'll drive up there.
Easy.
He wants to know, is your place up in Saskatoon?
No, my place is in Regina, but I do have people in Saskatoon as well. We have locations in Regina, Saskatoon, and Moose Jaw, which are our 3 major locations in Saskatchewan. So we have venues to host shows all over the place.
Okay, that's good to hear. Yeah. Steve Willis hasn't popped in the chat yet because for some reason I can't see him on the one screen, but I can see him on the other, so I haven't seen him pop in yet. So that's good. Anyway, so what are your plans this year for judging events, or are you competing also?
So I haven't really decided if I want to compete or not this year as well, or if I just want to focus on judging. I'll keep thinking about it, but I think I might just compete locally at a few of our other judges events and stuff like that, just so I can still have fun and stuff like that.
Okay.
But until I get certified as a 2X, 3X and stuff like that, I'm probably just gonna have fun with it or whatever, not really take it as serious as I used to, just so I can focus more on judging.
Okay. So how long did you compete for?
I competed for almost 10 years. I think it was 9 years beforehand.
Okay. So as a competitor for 9-10 years, switching over to the judging side, do you see things any different on that side than you did on the other side as a competitor?
Not really any differently, but I can see things that will help me as a judge, I think. Just because being a competitor, I was always thinking of different ways of, we'll just say pushing the gray areas and stuff like that, right? So So yeah, and having an open mind with that and stuff like that, I'll be able to actually maybe look and see different things that a starting judge might not be able to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of key, is being able to relate to other competitors and say, I competed, in similar class and stuff like that. So, we did it this way, or, I see what you're doing, and so definitely being able to be relatable is what's going to kind of put competitors at ease, I think.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that our local guys seeing another local guy step up and become the judge is going to put them more at ease as well. It's going to make them want to come out and compete more as well. Just seeing that we are still growing and stuff, and right, so not just some random person coming in trying to make money off of it and stuff. So,
so with you trying to grow, like you just said. Do you have anything planned to help grow the competition scene in your area? Like keeping track of Canadian records or stuff like that?
Well, like I said, my goal right now is just to focus on becoming a more certified judge, either a 2X or 3X within the next couple of years.
Okay.
So with that being said, hopefully that will help our growth as well. I know our closest 3X judge is Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So having certified shows only once a year within our local area is kind of hard for some of the guys wanting to actually compete at a national level and stuff, because they don't want to spend thousands of dollars every weekend to go compete at these 3X shows, where if we have a local certified judge, we can actually it might be more feasible for the guys.
So if Ray was to have World Finals at I forgot the name of the city he's in, but anyway, up where he's at versus the World Finals at Sacramento, which one's closer for you?
Ray's is
Ray's is.
Oh,
yeah, he's only 9 hours. Yeah, he's only 9 hours.
Spruce Grove. That's right.
Okay.
Oh, he's only 9 hours that way for you?
Yeah.
And then Sacramento is what, like 14 or 18 or something?
I think it's like 17 or something like that.
Oh, it's that far away? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're missing out. Just saying.
Yeah.
You're missing to come see Jeffrey's lovely face in person, and yeah.
You never know, though. That could always be a 1-year thing, come down and check out finals down there.
Yep.
So I can always see a bunch of different builds, because as you guys know, there's always it's always the same builds, right? So being able to go and check out different locations is awesome. So
and it helps you as a judge working with other seasoned judges, because you can see what they do different, because not everybody runs the show the same. I don't run it the same as Jeffrey. Jeffrey doesn't run the same as Ray. Ray doesn't run it the same as Wyatt. So, we all run them differently as the top certified judges. But it'd be great because you can pull little things from each of the judges you work with. Yeah. And World Finals is the great opportunity to work with some of the judges that are more seasoned, So that's how I would. James Edward Keel, missing you in Texas, Jeffrey. So
miss you too, James.
What the heck? Ray and Jen, his son, have gone with Minnie. It could have happened again. I'm not sure what that meant.
It could happen again.
Oh,
I think they're talking about Ray, Gene, and Team Minnie. They're coming down for finals the 1 year.
Oh, got you. Yep. No, and they like to come down. It's a lot of fun for them. They get to meet the guys that they haven't seen in a while. And World Finals for us, when it was one location, as judges, a lot of work. But we get to see people that we only see once a year. Oh yeah, Tyler says thumbs up. Yeah, it could happen again. It is a lot of work, but it is so cool to hang out with guys that are your peers and you guys can share stories and learn from each other and get better at your craft, as we say, right? So that like I said, I would strongly suggest you find a alternate World Finals location and go to that and assist as a judge there if it's within your budget to do that. So
For sure.
I mean, Jeffrey's done it, right? Jeffrey, Jeffrey ran his own venue last year for the first time, or the year before.
Yeah. It just passed this past October at Texas. So
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Tyler says it'd be a lot cooler if your guys' beer wasn't water.
No.
Yeah. Joel said same here, seeing Canadians base heads once a year. But yeah, like I said, it's just an opportunity. So what made you make the switch from competing to judging? What was the shift that did that for you?
For the last, I want to say almost 10 years now, that ever since I started competing, the local scene, all I keep hearing is, we need more shows, we need more shows, we need more shows.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first, I want to say 6 years of my competing, there was maybe only one show locally a year, just because it costs so much money for us to get Ray or another judge to come, and it wasn't feasible for the guys to be driving all the time, right? So we finally figured out that we can do it ourselves and stuff, but we needed somebody to step up. I figured, why not? I already know it and stuff. I already have most of the equipment. It wasn't too costly, we'll say, but it's been a learning curve for sure. There's a lot of little things that people don't think of about hosting a show and stuff like that. That at the end of the day, you're like, oh, wow, okay. So yeah, it was just like I said, it was just a lot of little things that I had to learn. But for the most part, I already knew it all. So I was like, why not me just step up?
Yep. Like staging a venue, that's something people don't understand. You got to be able to walk to the venue, say, okay, this is where I'm going to set up my tent. This is where cars are going to park. This is how they're going to pull in. This is how they're going to pull out. And how am I going to keep the flow going the best possible way, right? That's something people don't think about. Another thing people don't think about is trash cans.
Yeah.
Just provide trash cans. You know, the venue provide trash cans, and people will use them.
You say that. It's so funny that you say that, because that was the first thing that I said on Friday night. I'm like, I totally forgot trash cans. So I had to run inside to our venue and ask them to pull out a trash can for us. So, but yeah, we didn't make it work. But I was just like, dang it.
See, it's just little things like that. I mean, Jeffrey's probably at the same boat I am now with as many years as he's been doing it. But you know, I literally, I don't prep for shows. I pulled up with my trailer, opened up my trailer, put on a show. You know, I know how to do it. I would show up an extra 10, 15 minutes early if I had a brand new venue to kind of see in my head how everything goes together, find out where the power is coming from, all that stuff. But other than that, it's, yeah, when I pull up to a venue, I can totally see how I can make the flow and the optics as much as possible. Because one thing you want to do is people have to know you're there. That's the idea behind what you're doing. So you have to be visible. Like Jeffrey said this weekend at the show he was at, he thought he was going to be in the back. He ended up being in the front. Well, that kind of changed what he was going, but with all the signage and the tents he had, it really, really made you go, boom, there's something happening here. And that's the first thing you need to do as a show promoter, is announce your presence to anybody driving by in a car, right? That's the whole reason you're there, is to show off, to bring people to stop their vehicles and come and check out the stereo competition and the shop or whatever venue you're at, right? So that's all part of what we do that people don't necessarily think of when they're thinking about hosting an event, right?
I think, like, as a competitor, you don't really see these things that
Yeah.
the judges have to, take into consideration to run an event.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so, as a competitor, you show up and then you just, sometimes I remember when we would go as a group, the Team XS SPL guys, like we would always have to be the last ones to qualify. I don't know why it just like seemed, but
I
now
know
as
why.
a judge, why to?
Well, because back then
why?
the meters were not as accurate, right?
Okay.
So
You want to see what lane was
correct. You wanted to see what lane was going,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
true.
also for like specifically Team XS SPL, you only wanted to put up a number that you wanted to put up. So
True.
you would sit there and, if you didn't have to show a 160, you wouldn't because you were hiding it for World Finals, right?
Exactly.
So so there was a strategy behind you guys, but now with the meters being as accurate as it is, unless you're trying to hide a number, it doesn't make any sense if you're first, last, any of that stuff, right?
But now as a judge, when I see like people doing that, it's like,
come on,
dude, come on, just come on up, man. You don't have to wait till the last second. I know you probably want to be in the lanes with your buddy, side by side, but let's just get this going. Let's, get this flow going as quickly as possible and stuff like that. So
yeah, one of the other things as a judge is flow. Flow is so important to a show.
Mm-hmm.
For those people that don't know, I mean, I can't even express to you how important flow is. As long as you can keep, let's see, I used to hate Ray's mics, always thought it was harder than home. So, so just so you guys know, they used to use my mics every year for World Finals, and they swore my mics were 2 dB down because it would never read the same at World Finals as it did in your garage, and we call those garage scores nowadays. In my house I can do a 160.6, but here I'm only doing a 58. What the hell?
I actually encountered that this past year at finals, but more so like the base race side of it.
Oh yeah.
They would say like, hey, on Jeffrey's mics, it's not reading as fast, or with my mics, hey, it's more sensitive, and I was like, oh, come on, man, Wayne's worked on this, and it's gonna be the same sensors, even if it was different. You're going to the show, with my sensors, and then you're going to go to finals, it's the same sensor, so it's like then you just kind of go off of that.
Well, I think and also you're not trying to control your car, you're trying to control how it's read out the sensor anyway. That's why it doesn't matter what sensor it is,
right?
So like I said, that's just how I see it as a longtime judge. Yeah.
So those are like the differences, like as a judge, as a competitor.
Right. So Warren, why don't we talk a little bit about how did you get into car audio to start with?
My older brother actually got me into it. If I remember correctly, he had 318s in a little Austin Mini. Had three 1,000 watt amps on it. He was doing like 156s back in like the early or mid 90s.
Okay.
When they had the pencil mics and stuff like that.
So 149s nowadays.
Exactly.
But it was loud as hell then, right? Comparatively.
Yeah, so it was stuff like that. And then also watching people like Tyler Archer, Ray, Donald Hebig, people like them around my area, so they kind of got me more into it as a competitor.
Okay. So what was your first show you went to then?
Oh, my first show was one of the local shows to me, I believe.
As a spectator or a competitor?
It was a spectator event for me.
Okay.
I can't even remember how long ago this was now, but I do remember I asked my boss to leave work early just so I could go watch it. I was
Okay.
just like I was so pumped to go watch it, and I just like I was just like I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go, and
Yeah.
That's
so
it. All right, cool. And did you? So what did you? Did anything from that show stand out to you that kind of drove you a little bit more, or is that where your brother was competing, or what?
actually that was where Tyler Archer was competing that day.
Tyler says 2010 beat the Heat at Visions.
No, I think it was even before that, Tyler. I
Dang.
believe
Okay.
it was that audio, no, customized audio, I believe it's called.
Okay.
It was that show. There was a Chevy square body Chevy truck
Uh huh.
with 218s behind the seat
Okay.
doing like I don't know, stupid numbers. I want to say like 157, 158s back then.
Okay.
And I was just like, what is going on? Like, I've never seen a pickup truck with 218s in it before.
Uh huh.
At that time, I think I only had a single 12 inside my trunk. So,
All right. Well, my first show, I had a single 10 with a 300-watt audio Vox amp.
nice.
And that was my first
Whoa.
ever show. And like I mentioned on here, Tyler says a wagon and cougar days. Um, you know, I went to that show. A good friend of mine, Chris Howard, he's been on here. No, he hasn't been on here, but he's helped me at a lot of shows, and he was part of my team when I was on a team. But at that time, I didn't know him, and I went in and I competed against him, and I went up to him and I said, "You'll never beat me again," and he never has.
Nice.
He changed classes, so. We got on the same team. He changed classes. He went and played with the big boys, and I stayed down in the streets classes. So, but no, I definitely got loud. Tyler says Craig power play amps for the win.
What?
Is that almost like a Craco EQ booster?
Ah.
I had that. That's probably a little old for you guys. All right, so your brother kind of got you into this. What show that you've been to as a competitor was your favorite show you've ever been to? World Finals, what other one, whatever one it was. What's the one that has the best memories for you?
Actually, it was a show held out in Alberta. So I think it was like 9, 10 hours away from me. It was a pretty busy weekend. Those weekends used to be, I think it was a 1X Friday night and then 2 3Xs back to back afterwards.
Okay.
And what stood out so much about it was the first time I've ever actually seen somebody, another competitor, kind of try and mind game somebody. And it was literally, this is Tyler Archer again. He was going against one of our other friends, and he has his deck so it can be played outside or whatever. It was a top dog run. Yeah, but it was a top dog run. He just went and sat inside the other guy's car with him and did his top dog run inside the other car with him. So it was kind of.
So he sat in the opponent's car and ran his car?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so it was kind of funny, but at the same time it's kind of mind games, right? So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, that's good. Like I said, it's moments like those that are really really cool. We get to meet these people and invite them into our lives, and you get invited into theirs, and you guys become friends from that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what do you have a build right now, or?
I do. I got 4 15-inch Avatar Audio STU subs on Taramp's 12,000 watt amp, I believe it is.
Okay. Speaking of Tera amps, is that one? Can you clamp that one or no?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So
I've tried it a few times and I've had luck. So
okay.
But yeah, I got lithium bank, a 400 amp alternator, some avatar mids and tweets and stuff. It's nothing too big. It does 155s, but like I said, it's nothing too big nowadays with 160 being the new 150.
Right.
What format would you compete? Did you compete with that vehicle?
I did.
Okay.
I kind of opted out of DbDrag, but I did base race and top dog. And then every once in a while I would do cyclone just for fun, just because I could.
The low frequencies. How low did you get your vehicle to play?
So it's funny because my box is actually tuned to like 38 hertz, but I can play down to 22 with it.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Gina Harris says, "Come over to Australia. We have some cool builds over here." They
sure,
do.
That'd be something different.
Yeah. Well, Gina, just so you know, so my plan is to retire in 2 years. That's my plan is from working. During that time, I'm going to start cruising. My wife and I want to take 4 cruises a year. So, our winter cruises, we're thinking maybe Australia.
Wow, cool.
Or New Zealand, cruises, and I can write off the cruise if I go and do a car show in Australia and then go on a cruise afterwards, right? So, I mean, I can spend 1 day doing a show in Australia and then spend the next 10 days on a cruise and write off the whole trip. So, kind of where I'm kind of fudging that way, you know. I keep getting invited to Brazil every year to go do shows, and they don't ever come to be. So it'd be nice to possibly do the Brazil shows too. You know, maybe do some traveling like Ray does. You know, Ray's got like the 32 children or whatever he's got nowadays. So, Mondays are his only day off from work. So that's why he's never available to come here and be on the podcast. You know, it's literally his only day off.
Yeah, he was at Euro finals.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him on the live feed from the Euro finals.
Oh.
And I would text him like, and I could see him on the camera or on the, texting me back.
Chris Berger says those avatars can take a beating. Joel says I need to add the Philippines to my trips. We'll do a 3X event in the Philippines.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Tyler says life goal, want to hear some Brazilian stunt walls, the ones that shake the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. So, do you have any? So, what is your goals as a judge now that you're moving away from the competitive? And do you beat the boss at your shows?
What is beat the boss?
Oh man, you have not been watching this podcast very long.
No, I have not, obviously.
Okay. So what we do at my shows is the winners of base race, 29, 39, 49, if they have a competitor in their class, which they almost always do, I will take the loser's vehicle in the final round. So whoever wins, I'll give the winner an option for $10, a straight $10 bet between me and them. And we put our $10 on the hood or whatever. I jump in the loser's car. He jumps in his car and sees if he can beat me. And they don't beat me. I bet you I'm a little over 70% winning.
Oh, wow.
And it's obviously a car I've never been in a lot of times. It's a car I've never been in. I don't know the system. I don't know the vehicle.
Yeah.
I just jump in a car and run it, and I do it by ear. So it's not that the reason I started doing it, and the point is look, it doesn't matter what you have.
Mm-hmm.
You can be nationally competitive. I just beat the guy who won the whole event today in a car that I've never even been in before. So that's the point, right? Joel says, Warren, I'll show you beat the boss once I get there.
Oh.
So I offer that for the 29, 39, and 49 class. base race.
No, I like that. That's actually a pretty neat idea. I like that.
Yeah, and the guys get behind it. I can't convince Jeffrey to do it, but he'll throw his wife in there though. Beat the queen.
Beat the queen.
That's right. But anyway.
Of course, this is like, it's unofficial. It's just kind of like for shits and giggles, you know.
Yeah.
Just,
like I said, it has a point though, right? Is to show people that it doesn't matter what vehicle you have, you can be competitive. So that's really what the point of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. That's the reason I started doing it, and then it just kind of became a thing. Everybody wants an opportunity to try to beat the boss, but you can't come at the boss unless you earn the privilege.
Nice.
So
I wonder how many people has seen that and was like, man, you know, Doug's never been in that car before, and you know, he just beat this guy. Hey, I wonder if I could do it. And you know, I wonder how many people just like said that to themselves and then ended up competing.
I honestly don't know, but I try to point that out when I get out of the vehicle. See, never been in this vehicle. Anybody can do this. That's how easy this is. So, I will say 100%. When you have nothing invested in it, it's so much easier. Then, like if you have a ring going at this or something, that knob gets a little sticky. You know what I mean? So, but no, Beat the Boss is fun. The guys at the shows enjoy it. I mean, I have people that travel just for the opportunity to try and win their class to try to beat the boss. So, so do you have any goals like a twice a month, once a month shows? Where's your show goal at?
So I was just talking with my team a couple days ago, and we're talking about doing shows every 3 weeks. Just so it's not super often, but it's still often enough that we can get enough shows in for everyone and get points up there for everyone.
Okay. Tyler says, never a knob, always the volume clicks. I'm telling you, I use Josh Tattoo's knob. That's almost cheating. It's so smooth, and I mean, it has percentages on it. You can literally dial it right in. It's almost cheating.
You know, a guy this past show of mine used a knob that had percentages. I think it was a local manufacturer, LF Audio, I think. But he was saying no, LF Audio.
Okay.
But he was saying that he's gonna, you know, be able to do really well because he's got this bass knob that does percentages. He can go up a certain, you know, click without going too loud. So, and then when you mentioned it, I was like, oh, I wonder if you know, they all have the same thought process of how it works.
Joel says me versus Doug last year in the West Coast finale show. Joel busted out at the last second. Yeah. So, you know, I use the Michael Jordan technique, right?
What is Michael Jordan?
Well, so Michael Jordan believed, hey, you're coming at me. I got nothing to prove. And so he freed up his shots and, you know, attacking the basket. He's like, I got nothing to prove. You got to prove that you're better than me. And so you would find people make more mistakes trying to match him because he's already on top, right? So I use that same philosophy when I'm running Beat the Boss too. So, you know, it's like I said, it's a lot of fun. So how far away are you, do you think, from you becoming a certified judge and no longer a competitor?
Probably next year.
Okay.
I'm really wanting to become a 2X judge by next year.
Okay.
That's kind of one of my goals for this season is to be there.
And you're working with Ray on that, and I'm sure he'll help you meet that goal, right?
For sure.
That's good. And
I will let you know, though. I will add, if you go to finals and you you judge at finals, like from my experience, whenever I go to finals and I see people, you know, that win finals and, you know, just their whole emotions and stuff like that, I get that itch to come back. So you might say that, you know, you're going to end competing, but trust me, when you go to finals and you see like this really close race and it's like, oh man, I want to start coming back. I could do that again, you know, so just to kind of give you a heads up.
I've already seen that itch.
Nah,
Just because I've already not competing at my own shows, right, and stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah.
this last weekend I kind of felt that itch of wanting to like just run home and grab my car and come back.
You know, you can get up to 50% of your points at your own shows. Just saying.
I do know that, yeah.
Yeah, you know, me as a judge, I think I did miss that for a little bit, but at the same token, now I get a share in everybody's win. And I really take that to heart, along with the big reason I haven't retired, because you'll find as you get more successful as a judge, you'll find you'll have a lot of haters, and people will not be happy with you, and this and that. The opportunities to quit being a judge have been plentiful, but I always look at how am I going to take, like Joel's a good example, right? How am I going to take the opportunity away from Joel to win a ring? If I'm not judging in California at that time, you know, so I've kind of set things in place that's going to help, you know, Joel step up, Jose step up, somebody maybe down in Fresno stepping up, you know, and help continue it to get these new guys their opportunity to win a ring. So you'll find the joy in that, because you get to share with the winners and your opportunities to share with all the winners. So I don't know if you found that at all, Jeffrey.
Yeah. I heard you mention that, you know, throughout the years, and it's, you know, holds true. It's like, man, you know, I actually kind of stepped away after this year's finals for a little bit. And, you know, I found myself back into it again. So, you know, I look at it as, man, if I didn't get that opportunity, you know, given to me from these other judges, and I have the ability to do that, and I still have the ability to do that, you know, I'm gonna go all in on it. So I know what you mean.
Yeah. And, you like I said, it's like when you have kids, right? Your joy, it becomes more in their accomplishments than your own. And I think that's what happens as you season as a judge. You know, you would prefer to see whatever Tyler Archer win his 6th ring or whatever, you know, and that's more exciting to you than you actually winning your own. You know?
So true. There was a finals. It was a little while ago. I think it was in Sacramento. Christian Jensen. He won Top Dog at finals.
Yep.
And man, just seeing like the emotions he went through, and like when he finally won, and it was just like, man, that's kind of cool that I could, you know, be a part of this and giving him this opportunity to, you know, be a world champion.
Yeah. Tyler says, who better than Warren to certify Canada's first 180 plus DB in 15 years?
That'd be awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, we're running close to the hour. Jeffrey, you want to hit him with the question?
Yeah.
We didn't prep him this time, but he already knows.
No. All right. So you've watched the show. It's the question that we ask our guests. We want to know, what is your definition of a basshead?
Somebody who's passionate about car audio. It doesn't have to be strictly bass, but somebody who's there to not only succeed in their own, but help everyone else succeed as well. We have a lot of true bass heads around me. Actually, this last weekend we saw it a lot. my whole team, Team Canada base heads, is what we would call base heads. Everyone stepped up. We had a few like not engine failures, but engine malfunctions, stuff like that. We had some equipment malfunctions, but we all stepped up and helped each other. We helped each other. We helped other teams even succeed this weekend. So that's what I would call a base head, is somebody that's not just there for themselves, but there to help everyone.
Yeah. That's the first time we've had that as an answer, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's good. Like I said, that's Jeffrey and I constantly talk about how this is more of a community. It may be an individual sport, but it's a community that, I mean, when it's all said and done, we go hang out, break bread with each other, and have a great time tailgating or whatever we're doing, depending on your area. But yeah, it's always a great time for everybody, right? So
one of the biggest things I heard all weekend was, if we can all work together, we can all grow together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. A rising tide rises all ships, right?
Was that a competitor who said that, or?
That was Ray.
Ray.
That's a Ray thing.
That sounds like Ray. Okay, I was going to say.
That is a 100% Ray thing to say, but no, he's been pushing that philosophy a lot, and it's something that stuck with me, so.
No, that's good. Always, and always mention to everybody, all your competitors, invite one person to every show. If everybody invites one person, we double every show, right?
Yeah.
It's really that simple. It's not that simple to invite somebody, and it's not that simple to get one to come, but it really is that simple. If we all bring one person with us extra to each show, we double in attendance every show.
I did actually see 2 new people show up at our shows this weekend, so yeah.
How many new people for you, Jeffrey?
I know we had a couple people, but they were all there as a team, so they kind of understood how it worked, type thing. So yeah.
It's really cool. I don't know, Warren, if you upload your results. Jeffrey, do you upload yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you upload yours, Warren? Or do you send them?
Okay. I send them to Celise.
Okay. So when we upload our results, as you're uploading the results, it tells you if it's a first-time competitor.
Right.
Yeah. So
okay.
It's really cool when you're uploading and there's like 6 or 7 first-time competitors at a show. And when you do that, it is your job as the judge, your job as a seasoned competitor, to make sure those people have a great time and want to come back to the next show. Right? So one thing I would suggest to you as a judge is, if you do have a new person coming up, you don't tell them what to do. You don't help them with classifications and this and that. You send them to a seasoned competitor that you trust and that's personable, and this way they become more part of the community, and it never gets seen as you being potentially biased towards somebody, possibly, right? But if you send them to a competitor, that you're trying to integrate them into the community of baseheads instead of at the judge, because ultimately, as a judge, we do have to step back from the competitors. Not that we can't have them as friends and all this stuff, but we can't do anything, especially at a show, that would compromise our integrity as judges.
For sure.
So
I think I'm going to start doing that. Is specifically assigning somebody to be that event's ambassador and say, hey, you got any more questions? Or I think if I'd want to do it, I'd want to, confer with the person first. Hey, I'm going to send you these new guys. If they have any questions, help us out, because sometimes you get inundated with a lot of guys that have a lot of first time questions.
Yep.
I kind of was faced with that, and then to the point where my wife kind of caught on, and she understood a lot of the formats, and so she's kind of helping me out with that. There was this flow chart. I don't know if you've seen that, Doug. That was
Celise emailed it.
Yes, Celise just shared it. I think Ray was working on that flow chart. If you get a chance to see that, Warren, that definitely helped out a lot.
That before everyone else did.
Oh,
Ray
yeah.
actually showed it to us a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Which is awesome. We actually do an annual meeting up at Ray's shop every year before the season starts. Just so because he's always asking us as other competitors or other judges, what do we want to see or what kind of changes and stuff like that could we implement into the season or into the shows and stuff. And that was one of the things that he showed us at our annual meeting. So
that's awesome. Sergio Tuning says, very, very good points, Doug. Jeff, like the kid with the F-150, he got upset. I should have stepped up to help him. That's what Sergio said. Yeah,
I think he would have benefited from an ambassador that I could have referred him to. I helped him out as best I could. It was his first time doing DbDrag. He was a competitor in another organization. So he was a little confused on how things worked. For example, I helped him as much as I could. I got him where he needed to be. But I think being able to delegate that to someone else not only gets the load off of my shoulders, and it'll get people more involved to maybe better help them out. Maybe I'm not too familiar with his type of vehicle or something like that. It'll be like a fresh set of eyes helping him. So,
and a good thing to do is find an ambassador that's a DbDrag ambassador, a base race ambassador, music class ambassador, and a burping ambassador, right? Oh, you just want to be loud? That's the guy that you want to go talk to. Luckily, up here in Sacramento, we're fortunate, right? I can say, hey, that guy right there has won 2 world championships. He will help you with base race. He wants you to be a good base racer, or that guy right there, he won Street A 2 years ago or whatever, let him look at your car and he'll help talk to you about it. Super street guy. So Joel says he could be the Pankadow ambassador.
There you go.
All right. Warren. Say again.
Speaking of which, that was actually my first time ever running Pankadow or Punkadao, however you pronounce it. Was yesterday, and it was actually quite fun.
Okay. You enjoyed it, and how many people did you have?
We only had 3 competitors.
That's fine.
But it was actually quite fun. There was a lot of questions, obviously, but yeah, no, I think that will be a neat little thing that I can hopefully integrate into my show once I get the proper equipment for it.
All you need is a Sensor X.
Yeah.
And a stand.
Exactly. Like I said, I still need to get some of the proper equipment, though.
All right, Warren, how do people find you, hear about you, what you got going on, all that stuff? How do people find out about you, sir?
They can see us on Facebook on my Team Canada page, Team Canada Baseheads.
Okay.
We have Instagram as well, either 306 Baseheads Car and Truck Club on Instagram, or How's That Sound on Instagram.
Okay.
How's That Sound is all one word.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at that logo behind you.
Yeah, show us that logo.
There you go, Team Canada Baseheads. Got the maple leaf there.
That looks like a logo for like a hockey team or something, huh?
Well, that's kind of why we got our
hockey look at that. They got their merch. They got merch too.
We got actual hockey jerseys made. We look like an actual team.
That's
hockey.
Cool.
You guys don't like hockey up in Canada?
Say what is more Canada than hockey, right? So
curling.
What? Curling?
Yeah, they don't do that anywhere else in the world but Canada. So anyway, Jody Green, sorry I was super late today. Jody, we had somebody else pop in here from Australia. Yeah. I know you're not in Australia. But yeah, it was. Oh man, where did that name go?
It was like Gina
Yeah,
something.
Gina like Hunter or something, right? Anyway, so Gina was in here from Australia today. So, anyway,
Cool.
Jeffrey, what you got going? Where, where are they gonna see what you got going on next?
Just on Facebook, you can just look up my name, Jeffrey Fernandez. I like to post the events on there as well as create Facebook events pages for the DbDrag events. But the for sure way is just checking out dbdragracing.com, navigate to the calendar, and then just I think we talked about this at the last show. Refresh it because you never know when a show is going to pop up. I know like other judges like to like do shows well in advance. That's not me. So, but I like to give at least like maybe 3 or 4 weeks a time. That's what I tell like prospective sponsors or wanting to do an event. That's good lead time to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely just refresh, check it every day. There'll be a show hopefully near you, and you'll get to enjoy it. So.
Yep. And for me, I'm in limbo right now, so just waiting to sell my house because the lady that was buying my house is not following through with her side.
Oh no!
So I gotta. It's kind of weird right now. And then the Dallas thing, I texted him this morning, said, "Hey, what the hell? Let's get this thing moving." I only have about 2 weeks left, like a week and 2 days, I think, left on my project, and I'm going to be 100% done. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my time after that as far as work goes. But yeah, I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping after the 4-day holiday to be going to Texas and get that all set up. But I will be stressing to them the importance of getting me out there. But other than that, hey, I appreciate you guys tuning in every week,
Sure.
and having to do this. We have next week. Let me pull up what his name is. Ray Pimley, no. Nita, Steven, Cody Harris, no. Gary, Eric, I'm missing somebody. Who is the guy? Oh, here we go. Here's some more. Dang it.
No, I think I might know who you're talking about.
It's for Base Wars. Oh, because it was
Billy.
an email. Billy, yes. Yes, Billy. Bill Temple. Yep,
Right.
Bill Temple is going to be our guest next week on
cool.
on the podcast, unless I'm bowling, because that is a bowling day. So we'll see if I got a morning tournament or what's going on. But most likely we'll be on here next week. I'll have Billy from Base Wars telling us all about Base Wars, which seems like a really good format. So it'll be interesting to hear all this stuff about it, which would be cool. But that's who we'll have next week. Once again, I'd like to thank all you guys.
Doug, real quickly,
yeah, sure.
before we sign off, I just, not to bring everybody down again, like, but man, I just wanted to kind of stress the fact that, make sure you hug your loved ones because, you never know. Stuff that we talked about at the beginning of the show, man, watching and seeing all those posts on Facebook, seeing that video that Gary had done was wow. I was like, just make you want to just hug your loved ones.
Yeah,
so,
Dan
wanted
touched,
to mention them.
Dan touched so many lives, and to be honest, you don't know how many lives you touched. I don't care who you are.
Exactly.
Jeffrey, Warren, Ray, Joel, Jody, even Leonard Foster touched some lives. and it's hard to know and understand the scope of what you've created in this world. until people step up and say something. So, yeah, Jeffrey's absolutely right. Hug your loved ones. You never know when their last day is going to be here.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Nope. The only thing guaranteed is this moment. So, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, our prayers go out to Dan, wife, kids. Hopefully, they have a strong support system to help get them through this time and to, get them what they need as a family. So, all right, guys. I want to say thank you once again. We'll see you guys next week, 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. Peace. 6:30 California time. That's right. I keep thinking 5:30. I got sidetracked in my head. Sorry about that. All right. Peace. We out. Don't go nowhere, Warren.